Brendan Taylor marked his LV County Championship debut with 100 for Nottinghamshire, but a Middlesex fight back, led by James Harris, meant that the opening day of the 4-day summer at Lords was an even one. Chris Reed batted after winning the toss and would have been pleased with the start given to his side by his openers, even though Stephen Mullaney survived this early and strong appeal for LBW. Mullaney lived a charmed life, in fact. He was put down by Darvin Milan at second slip off Tom Helm, the fielder injuring his finger in the process. And the same bowler was denied a wicket when Adam Voges also spilled a chance off an edged cut shot. Brendan Taylor, meanwhile, looked to pick up from where he left off last week when he scored 100 on his first-class debut for Notts against the students of Loughborough. The Zimbabwean was soon enjoying his decision to give up the international arena for county cricket. He lost Mullaney at the other end for 22 and then sent Alex Hales back to see him run out for a duck by Tim Murtagh, the worst possible start for the England man who has another big year ahead of him. Those two quick wickets left Notts on 72 for 2, but the visitors to the home of cricket began to take control once James Taylor got away with this top edge off Voges. The two Taylors began the afternoon session with their team on 90 for 2, and for much of it they looked very good together, both rarely missing out when they were given something to go after. They would have been pleased with their progress. Before he got to his 50, Brendan survived an appeal for leg before from the usual parsimonious Murtagh. Next ball, and Brendan, who had an excellent World Cup down under, was raising his bat. His half-century coming off 105 balls, an innings thus far containing 7 fours. It may be early on, but the signing of the man who played 23 test matches for his country is looking like some very good business for Nottinghamshire. That out of the way, batting began to look easy for the 29-year-old, who has minimum movement at the crease. His timing was especially good as he began to dominate the scoring. For a side who have often struggled at the top of the order, this was very good news indeed. There is no doubt that Taylor has quickly got used to early summer conditions in England, as these shots prove. It wasn't exactly a golden day to bat in. Credit too has to go to his namesake James, who, while never at his fluent best, stuck it out in a partnership which was worth 108 runs in 34 overs. Before it was broken, Brendan was at his ton on this blustery day. It was the 24th of his career. All players from foreign lands love to score runs at Lords, and Taylor's reaction to reaching 3 figures in his first knock here showed that this innings meant a lot to him. For the record, he'd needed 160 balls to get to 3 figures, from which he'd found the boundary rope on 14 occasions. He could hardly have asked for a better beginning to his life as a county pro, as he became the first Notts player to score 2 tons in his first 2 first-class games. Before tea was taken, Middlesex fought back brilliantly though. James Taylor rather ruined his good work by mispulling Harris to Nick Gubbins at mid-wicket, with a total on 180 for 3, Taylor gone for 36. 3 balls later, and Samit Patel was heading back to the pavilion after being trapped in front by Harris for a duck. And Harris then made it 3 wickets in 6 balls when Ricky Vessels played across his front pad to also go LBW with just a single run to his name. Then it was 4 in 11 deliveries for Harris when he also ended Brendan Taylor's innings at 106. Another LBW success, as Nottinghamshire slipped from 180 for 2 to 183 for 6 in less than 15 minutes. And the wicket-hungry Harris must have been very close to a 5th success, as debutant Will Gidman was also hit on the pad. This time Nick Cook kept his finger down. Gidman was also given a life after tea, Stephen Finn the unlucky bowler, as another opportunity was put down in the slips. Not that the former Gloucestershire all-rounder made the most of his fortune. On 9 he nicked off to Helm after trying to remove his bat too late. 5 wickets had now fallen for 23 runs in 10 overs, and it was left to Vernon Philander to stop the rot in partnership with Reed. Philander moved quickly to 17 with this one of his 3 boundaries. But he was then easily stumped by John Simpson off Voges, the former Notts player, and it looked as if the innings would be quickly wrapped up. But Reid, now in his 18th season with the county, did what he's done so often in that time by working with the tail well. With Jake Ball doing his job at one end, Reid went after the bowling at the other to just about balance this contest back up again. The Nott skipper had added an important 40 runs with Ball, who was out for 16, as he backed away from Finn and found Paul Stirling, to leave with a total on 264 for 9 with 10 overs of the day remaining. In the end, we had only 7 of those before bad light intervened, although Reid was seeing the ball well enough as he reached a 50 off 80 balls with back-to-back boundaries off Harris. That took his boundary count to 7. He celebrated that by thumping Helm into the grandstand to end the day on 62 and to take his side close to a third batting bonus point. 2 more runs are required for that, with Nottinghamshire going into the second day on 298 for 9. Harry Gurney sticking with his skipper for the last half hour of the opening day in making an undefeated 8.